So I think now the time has come for us to find more of the adventures of the alchemical twins. Especially at midwinter of Capricorn, we enter the temple of Isis. In the temple of alchemy, the people are robed very suitably for winter in gleaming silver and white and violet and purple. The priest of alchemy addresses the twin apprentices Aidan and Elaine. The winter solstice was known to the ancients as the portal through which souls descended from heaven into many rebirths. In order to have the courage to face the new aeon, the galactic alignment in 2012, we need to invoke the goddess Fortuna. The priestess alchemist raises her wand. She's very beautiful, the priestess, and looks as if she's in trance. This is a very trancey time because there's snow outside. I invoke thee, the goddess Fortuna. Some call you Lady Luck of Crete, others dread you as Nemesis. Come to us as daughter of the goddess of the mysteries, Themis, who whispers wisdom into the ear of Jupiter. We all love the oracle. Seated by our mysterious holy well is a robed priestess. She's wearing very, very pale grey, glittering with silver, various silver stars and emblems. Somehow you notice when a person enters trance, there's a sudden stillness. Listen. Friends, do not despise fortune tellers in their little tents or flats or recording studios. They bravely carry on the mighty tradition of the Sibyls, who in turn receive divine wisdom from the fates. Even the gods and goddesses obey the fates. Around you is spread the panorama of all space. Time is a continuum, only representing in sequence in your own journey towards divine centre. When you rise above the mighty scenery of the cosmos, you will recognize all your many adventures through many lives. Faced with the cosmos, you feel so small. You are loved because you are small. You, each of you, have an original genius born of the divine mothers. These bring forth all that is. The fates weave the pattern of life, in which all play a part. As well as being transcendental deities, the fates are yourselves. So treat the daughters of Fortuna, her fortune tellers, with respect. They cannot give inevitable predictions, for we may change our minds, but they can make your life a glorious adventure, relating you to many-coloured stars of the zodiac. All feel they have shared in this lovely oracle. The priest alchemist gives thanks. We give thanks to the goddess Fortuna for her heartening oracle. The priestess alchemist addresses Elaine gently. My dear Elaine, you are ashamed of your enjoyment having your fortune told because you feel it's unscientific. Yet as a palmist holds your hand, a tarot reader flips through a deck, your third eye awakens and you receive a psychic message. Are you willing to employ such oracles further? Elaine looks embarrassed. She's a bit of a cultural snob, I think. Certainly. A psychic reading brightens a dull day and makes the most boring lives exciting. The priestess alchemist continues. Good. When you undertake the initiation of Fortuna, you will find yourself in the drama of the fairground. You're so serious. It's just what you need. Of course we'll be with you, but won't help you out. She hands Elaine a card from the Marseille deck. Describe this. Elaine examines the card. Splendid! Of course, it's La Rue de Fortune. It is number 10, Capricorn, and shows the wheel of fortune turning with a monkey in a shirt precipitating downwards, and opposite a hare mounting upwards. One thinks of a gambler caught in a casino jungle. Presiding over it all is a crown monkey with red wings holding a sword. he's not as bad as he appears, because his crown is golden and open, his crown centre. He could be Thoth, Egyptian god of wisdom. Here she looks impressed. Priestess alchemist, well read. You may now enter trance. Elaine finds it harder to get into trance than her twin because of her active mind, but she manages it. It reports. I climb up the hill of the zodiac with happy expectancy. I pay respects to divine Vesta within her flame, the centre of the temple itself. And I easily discover the portal of Capricorn, as it is surrounded by the pole stars. On the right is a painting of a lively sea-goat with curly horns and a fish's tail. Oh, he seems to be looking at me through slanting topaz eyes. Oh. On the left is a goddess crowned with the stars of Cassiopeia. She is veiled in black. This is so terribly real. I pass through the dark curtains, the portico. My hand trembles as I lift the veil. Oh, I need not have fear. How beautiful! I'm hovering over the city by a vast lake, glittering with reflected stars. Round it are towers of coloured glass. The most beautiful tower gives me a shock. Oh, no. It's simply labelled City Back. I'm over Chicago. Oh, well, it's an astral Chicago. It's stunning if you can't read. It could be Atlantis. I find myself falling into the crown of a lovely violet tower. It is a small penthouse. Oh, I'm in an office crammed with every sort of computer. And in the midst, reclining on a furry divan, is a tarot reader. Fortune teller to the stars, it tells me. She has golden hair, a black and white harlequin-style dress, very short, and wears dark glasses. I've been expecting you, she says in a Californian accent. What do you seek? I can't give you what you want, but I'll let you know if you can get it or not. I find myself expressing my deepest intention. I don't know why, she looks rather frivolous. I wish to restore the religion of Isis to its former glory. I can give you a warning, she says, looking into a crystal ball. Beware a rocking chair. That's all. Heed it. You'd best now consult my sister, spiritual counselor. She's lower down. Oh, I feel my legs feel a bit weak. As I find myself sinking through the floor, I hear her voice intoning, Heed my warning, lady fair, beware a scarlet rocking chair. Oh, how different her sister is. I find myself in a large, beautiful apartment with antique furniture and the scent of incense. Her sister is plump and cheery, and there is not a computer in sight. Can't stand them, she declares. Sibylla runs her website, but I prefer real human contact. I'm beginning to feel more at ease with this lady, much more at ease. She lights a scarlet scented candle and gazes into it. Can I get what I long for? She looks sad. I see that you will never attain your goal until you find the goddess Isis herself. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, dear, and your energy. You can't do it by doing all these courses you do. You must have her vocation. She intones, Find a lady on the mountain. Who she is, we cannot tell you. All she wants are gold and silver, sun and moon, in hearts that love her. In your case, you're an intellectual. Not my line, really. You need to consult my sister as a qualified, experienced facilitator. She likes the basement. Oh, how very American. A qualified, experienced facilitator? What's that? What have I let myself in for? Well, she must do. I've had the longest, deepest elevator trip, a lift, in my life. Goes on and on. When I get below ground level, I can hardly get through the piles of books on tables, chairs and floor littering a low-ceilinged apartment. I look around. Extraordinary place. Paintings are all around the walls. I think I might like this. Bohemian? The third sister has dark hair and wears a sweater and trousers. She gives me a wild, beaming smile. I explain my desire. 1 inch of experience is worth miles of talk, she says. That's what's wrong with education nowadays. Talk, talk, talk. Computer heads wired to other people's minds, to a spider's web. Like coffee? She prepares a coffee percolator and switches it on through a dangling wire. Suddenly, she turns round and removes a pile of books off a chair. She pushes me onto the chair and it begins to rock. Too late I remember her sister's warning. I struggle to get out of it, but instead I begin to fall through the chair and on and on and on, down into the very depths of darkness itself. But my fear ends when I find myself in daylight, gazing at a delta by the sea. By me is a young man, very like the third sister, untidy dark hair, a polo neck, and denims, and her wide smile. My sister wants me to bring you through a river story, she says. From an ocean up the Nile and ending up in the Thames, a sort of documentary. Allow the soul to run through my tale. It does last about 6,000 years. What is he talking about? What a strange journey this is. I'm living through the whole genesis of the religion of Isis, from a far-off star Sirius to our sun, and then to a lost continent. I've travelled up the Nile for 4,000 years. There is a feeling of love and joy and beauty for those who live by the flowing water, were protected by the mighty, widespread wings of Isis and Osiris, invisible to them, but a haven for the fearful. Thousands of years flow by me as easily as the waters of a mighty river. And that it is always for us, when we attune ourselves to Isis of the stars. I know that life flows round our Milky Way, which is coiled around the galactic omega, a central abyss, a portal which leads to other dimensions of incomparable glory. But even as these immensities overwhelm me, I found myself back in the 21st century in London, by the River Thames, much named the Isis. A small group of cheerful men and women are busy launching the ship of Isis on the river, as the Romans used to do. It's being launched by a newly ordained priestess of Isis, a spiritualist medium. The priestess is vaguely aware of my presence. Where is the boat, the ship launched by Cleopatra? I don't see any. Where is this replica? Then I find it. It's a brave little ship of cardboard with paper sails and a gallant flag with an anchor on it. Recyclable, someone is telling us all. The ship gets stuck in the sand of the slipway and a young man wades in and gives her a push. I look round. A friendly crowd join in the chant. Isis! Isis! They all shout. Isis! I burst out laughing. I'm happy. My intention is fulfilled. These people are happy and friendly. They're modern. They love Isis. They believe in her. They're going off to a cafe to celebrate. I wish to join them as a friendly ghost, but I find myself coming back to the basement of the Chicago Tower. But as I reach the flat, I'm sad. I'm not even as psychic as that little group. I say to the third sister, your brother has shown me the faith of Isis blessing humanity for thousands of years, all ready for those who may enjoy it. Yet all the while your coffee was percolating, and now it's ready. But I've not found Isis. I've failed. Oh, but you have found her, says the third sister, puts down the coffee pot and stands up. Behind her the wall turns to mist and reveals the night sky. Her brother and she back into the sky and shine with white light and myriads of stars. I hear the voice of Isis speak like distant waters. I am she who was and is and shall be. I am Isis of eternity. I have found Isis and Osiris. I know their sisters Nephthys and Hathor. The divine vision fades. I am returning to you all. Elaine takes a long time returning from trance. She has received far more than ever she expected, and she accepts her degree. Rays of understanding are sent forth, reports are shared, and thanks are given to the deities. May you find your own true vision. We're still at the portal of Capricorn, and it's Aiden's turn now. The spider weaves her web for her own selfish aphorism. The priest of alchemy is still wearing his stately robes, but with black added for Capricorn. He addresses the twin apprentices, Aiden and Elaine. The winter solstice was known to the ancients as the portal, as you have been told, where the souls enter heaven. There is a great change. People are in confusion as the old laws of religion are shaken to their foundations, and there's no code to take their place. We need to invoke the goddess of justice, Astrea. The priestess alchemist raises her staff. I invoke the goddess Astrea. At the end of the golden age, when evil prevailed over good, it is written that you, goddess of justice herself, left earth, and with your mighty wings returned to the stars. Come back to us, divine Astrea, and teach us the difference between good and evil, truth and lie. As she speaks, she raises her wand over a priestess in white and black robes, seated by the holy well. Dear children, do not blame yourselves for following the old ways hallowed by centuries of tradition, both priestly and tribal. This was part of your learning. I did not veil myself with my fellow deities because we despised your ways, but because we wished you to discover truth in her many aspects. Your priesthood explored well the mysterious realms of the psyche. Your tribal chiefs learned to bring codes of law to preserve law and order. Sometimes we Olympians send avatars to introduce a new way, the way of love, through understanding, truth, through courageously facing scientific fact. Remember, humble facts are the sandaled feet of the loftiest deity, the necessary feet of clay, the earth. Now rejoice that you call upon us, because you are now ready to receive us. We do not rule obedient followers. We work in harmony with those who think, act, and feel for themselves. The inner self, which is within each of you, within all that is. I do not return, because I never left. I was always there for those who could find me. Be of their number. Priest alchemist, we give thanks to the goddess Astrea for her oracle. Priest now addresses Aiden. This oracle well serves your own needs, Aiden. Your spirit soars, but your mind longs for scientific acceptance. Few occultists like being termed fruitcakes or nutters. Women mind less because they're used to it. Are you prepared to take up the goddess's offer and get to know her? With all my heart. says Aidan eagerly. I mean with all my mind. Yes. The priest says, to undergo the initiation of the just, you need to understand this tarot card deemed unscientific by some. He hands the tarot card of the Marseille deck. Aidan examines the card closely. Of course, card 20, La Jugement, dreaded by our ancestors, the last day, the apocalypse. It has a whole channel on the media, 4 dated 2012. There's always been these apocalypses, and they never happen. No, I won't laugh. Many take it seriously, 2012. I expect we'll just have an anti-climax, the London Olympics. The card depicts an angel with a white halo blowing a gold trumpet, an alchemical symbol. He has 4 wings, and attached to the trumpet is the emblem of a gold equal-armed cross. Below him is a sandy desert and 3 naked humans, a young man and woman and an old man. The young man seems to be standing inside a dark green vase. The hell? I don't know, honestly, what the inner meaning is. Priestess Alchemist. That is what you're about to find out. You may enter trance. We will watch your progress with goodwill, but may not touch the scales of justice. You must make it on your own. Encouraging remark, but what I expected from the card. Although he assumes a scientific trend, he's very good at getting into trance. What he likes, he lies flat and off he goes. Slowly I make my way up the hill of the zodiac. Out of the body one experiences all one's old superstitions. I used to dread the headmaster's study in my school. Rather like God he was. The grey beard helped, and the cane. I enter the temple of the zodiac and especially pray to Vesta for help with the inner light of all. Then I make my way up to the portico of Capricorn. Elaine did not mention that it's formed by a huge dolmen, rather menacing. It's looming over me. The goat looks pan-like, devious. But I like the shimmering star maiden on the left. She may be of help if I find this difficult. I want to get through all right and not look a fool. I must succeed. Elaine did. So I boldly part the black curtains and walk through the dolmen portico. Oh, no. I suppose the psychological explanation is you get what you fear. I'm in a large version of the headmaster's study. This is worse. It's part of the Olympus complex. Here are some of those who hold the offices of gods and goddesses. They're real, all right, like ministers of education or something. I understand it, of course. They wear black poplin silk hoods and robes like masters of the arts, which they are in every sense of the word. This means business. As if to reassure me, a good PR, a woman comes forward and takes my hand kindly. I feel about 7 years old. We are so pleased to have you with us, Aidan, she says in her grand accent. You were so successful on the last occasion. As a king, you stopped the war. By getting myself stabbed by annoying everyone, I said. That is what you call being a success. I felt a complete ass in that crown. It wasn't fair stabbing me in the back. To my embarrassment, I'm sounding like a sulky little boy. Or am I picking up Minerva's thought? All part of the job, says the genial Jupiter, puffing at a cigar and ridiculously reminding me of Edward VII. Martyrdom is the beginning of wisdom, not the end. I haven't been martyred for millennia. You learn to let people go their own way. They learn the hard way. The best way, says a long, lanky man with black hair and side whiskers. Reminds me of Benjamin Disraeli. I gather he's the present Saturn incumbent. At least I'll get sense from him. So I come to the point. I hope I sound businesslike. What do you want of me? We have been called upon by our constituents, the human race, for help through the regular channels, ecclesiastical and secular, says a gentle-faced woman with golden hair drawn back into a net. She looks like the White Queen in Alice Through the Looking Glass. She must be the moon goddess. Looks wifely, but not to be trifled with. A skilled witch. A young man with longish hair now steps forward. Mercury, naturally. What they want is clarification about God wants, he said. What does God want? A. Is there a God? B. How many? C. Any goddesses? D. Do humans have souls, or only some of them? E. Is there eternal damnation? F. Does heaven exist? Would it be boring going on and on? Oh yes, and G. They want to know, what is the truth? You are meant to answer all these questions as Minerva, as if offering an examination for acceptance into a good university. I'll brief you as to your schedule, says Mercury. I'm sure I recognize a well-known journalist. I hope not Private Eye, but I do feel I know him. I feel we've encapsulated all the necessary data required. We'll provide the necessary supernatural overtones to let them know you have been sent by us. That will be adjusted to where you are sent. You may be a bodhisattva. They don't want God in some places. He's consulting a scroll. Oh yes, you'll be a new judge in a small backward European country, just recovering from a civil war. They're extremely moral, strict, and religious. I'm not sure which one. You'll find out soon enough. You've been sent from the European Union to settle a dispute of a domestic sort, but involving very important persons. I'm not much good at people problems, I say. That's more Lane's area. Which is precisely why you must do this, says Mercury coolly. You probably won't get shot. Just spat at, that sort of mob thing. Listen well, therefore. A man and a woman are fighting over the custody of their baby girl. The wife is in the right, it is held, as the husband has divorced her and married another woman. The characters of the two women would interest a novelist. The mother is loving, passionate, temperamental. The new wife is cool, well-educated, and scholarly. You have been sent to adjudicate because this volatile, violent nation is divided into two parties, one pro the mother, the other pro the husband, who's a very popular politician. When do I leave, I ask, but even as I speak, I find myself caught up in a psychic whirlpool, depriving me of all my senses, but not my mind. Incongruously, I hear the rustle of silk. I find myself before a mirror, admiring my voluminous black silk robe. I wear a cap like Martin Luther's or St. Sir Thomas More. The robe gives me some dignity I don't usually have. Wide, powerful, wise. I shall be a just judge. Mine shall be like the wisdom of Solomon. His decision to give the child to the biological mother through a ruse is legendary, the wisdom of Solomon. I'm conducted by a dignitary carrying a mace into a courtroom. Advocates are shuffling papers. The bailiff strikes the ground with his mace as I mount a desk, and he commands, all stand. So they all do. I take my splendid chair with a rustle of silk. I place my hands on the elaborate sides. I try not to enjoy all this too much. I try to attend to what the advocates are saying. One, a tubby little fellow in a comical British white wig, is painting a portrait of the true mother, loving, sensitive, caring. He contrasts this with the cold stepmother, calculating, career-oriented, unfeeling. He has a point, and I don't like the father's advocate. The father is portrayed as having his good nature betrayed by the passionate nature of his erstwhile wife. He was heartbroken having to divorce her. After accusing her, I feel most unfairly of extending her loving care to quite a few men, a real estate agent, a football player, and a jockey. He had no proof, just jealousy. He describes his new wife as moral, reliable, and hard-working, all a politician needed. I know intuitively what I must do, give the weeping mother her baby, despite this talk of a real estate agent, a football player, a jockey. So I devise a way to prove the mother to be true and loving. Her tears convince me. I feel like Solomon. Hear my verdict, I say. Either one of these claimants must give up the child, or she shall be sent to the care home in the Carpathian Mountains for unwanted babies. I feel a shiver of horror run through the court. Must be a rigorous home, the only one in the country. I wait for the true mother to give up her claim in order to save her baby from such a place. I get a shock. She refuses to. The baby is hers, whether in a care home or not. She'll never give it to that woman or her disloyal husband. She trusts the good sisters far more than that pair. They know what a mother is. The husband gives up his claim. His wife says the home is notorious for severity. He gives up any claim to his baby to rescue it from the care home his wife distrusts. I'm shocked by the real mother's behavior. I give my verdict. The true mother is the stepmother. She and her husband abandon their claim to ensure the child is saved from this home. The home should be inspected by the government and modernized. The baby is to be given to the husband. I knock the game. All stand. The baby is handed to her father, and she smiles. Outside, an angry mob waves placards stating, "Fight for the mother's rights." They are throwing things at me. So it is relief that I recognize Mercury come to conduct me home. I think I hear a shot. I'm back rather quickly. I'm pleased with myself, sort good, feeling I've outdone Solomon, putting justice before the maternal blood tie. But the gods always have the last word. Mercury says, "Congratulations, Aidan. You have saved the care home from destruction by that dreadful child. She's one of us, Eris, goddess of discord. Started early, hasn't she?" He vanished before I can reply. I find myself returning from trance with my head in a whirl. Aidan accepts his degree, but insists on calling it my degree of ignorance. He explains, "The fates make a cat's cradle of all our laws. Reports are shared and thanks are given to the deities, and all meditate on what justice is and how to achieve the balance. Let us do so ourselves."